the Guy Jeans Podcast.
My next guest is Art Alexakis from the band Everclear. He's a Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum record-selling artist who's still going at it at 62 years old. He's written some of the most iconic alternative rock songs of the 90s, songs like Father of Mine, Santa Monica, and Everything to Everyone. So sit back and listen to our conversation about his upcoming tour, songwriting, and his life. Art, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Guy. Thanks for giving me a call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. How's everything going with you, man? Are you getting ready to do a tour?
Yeah, we're just, all the gear got picked up a couple days ago and just wrapping stuff up, trying to do family stuff and just get everything wrapped up for when I'm going to be gone on the bus for 6 weeks and rocking out all over America. Stoked.
Yeah. You're coming to LA, I saw October 9th, so I'm going to try to make that at the Wiltern Theater.
Is it the 9th? I thought it was the 7th.
It might be the 7th. I thought I saw it was the 9th on a Monday, but maybe it's the 7th.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, I do know that.
Course.
Right on, man. So
you're right, dude. I'm wrong. You were right.
Oh, am I?
October
Okay,
9th.
cool. Right on. Have you guys just been rehearsing like crazy?
No, you know what we've been doing? We've been playing shows every weekend all year. And we've already played, I think, 50 or 60 shows, about 50 shows already this year. So we don't need to really rehearse. We play all the time. And we're stoked to be playing every night. Because right now we're doing weekend stuff, like 1 to 4 shows every weekend, depending on the weekend.
Are you going all over the place to do those shows, or are you doing them?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Major markets, backwood places. we played Lynchburg, Virginia, which I hadn't heard of before, but we had an amazing show there.
Awesome. Great
venue there. It's great to get around America and just see the different subcultures in there and the different foods, and I've been doing it for 35, almost 40 years.
I know,
with
man.
Everclear and other bands, and it's just a blessing to be able to do this. It's cool,
right? I was checking out some old videos of you and stuff, man, and I got to ask you this question because I just get blown away when I see you performing like at the Woodstock show, like back in the 90s, man. It was like I couldn't believe how many people were there, and just I got to ask you, what's that like? What's it like to be in front of that many people, man?
I don't know how to explain it, to be honest with you. To have that many people singing your lyrics back to you like they were singing Santa Monica,
right?
Father of Mine, and the big hits.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. But I got to tell you, I love those shows are like special.
Yeah.
But my favorite is about 1,000 to 2,000 people who are just hardcore fans, know all the words to all the songs, and that energy is just so contagious. We're guys in our 50s and I'm in my 60s, but we still feel the buzz every night we walk on stage, and it's I think it goes back and forth. If we're generating that kind of energy, it's going to be coming back to us from the crowd, and vice versa. So it's like I said, man, I'm just
stoked.
Blessed.
Yeah, totally.
To be able to do this. I'm in my 60s and I'm still playing rock and roll making a decent living at it. It's awesome.
So when you're back like stage and you're getting ready to perform for those 1,000, 2,000 person theaters or even bigger shows or whatever, what's it like right before you go on stage, man? What's the feelings that you have?
Well, like we warm up and we're, like I said, we're older guys, so we're stretching and stuff, keeping it kind of light. But about 2 minutes before I go on, I just start meditating and praying as I'm walking to stage.
Uh-huh.
Just asking my higher power for energy and for me to be upbeat and positive and to not fall down because I have MS,
Uh-huh.
and to remember all the words and
Right.
It's just kind of a self meditation thing, but it never fails, guy.
Yeah.
Even if I've been doing this for I've been playing on stage since I was 16 and I'm 61.
Yeah.
And I still get the butterflies before I go on stage, but I've learned that once the lights go down and the intro starts and we start walking out on stage and we all hug each other and start walking out on stage, I've learned to turn that anxiety and that fear into excitement. And by the time I hit the mic, I just turned it in, myself into a bigger character.
Right.
Just my same personality, just a bigger part of it, just a little bit amplified. And I love just hearing the crowd roar. It's just, what a buzz. I've done every drug in the world. I've been clean and sober for 30. Right. I really have. Right. I've been clean and sober for about 34 years.
Uh-huh.
And it's the best buzz I ever had. Actually, that's not true. I've never done fentanyl. And I've never done Oxycontin.
Yeah.
Because those all came after after I've been clean and sober. So I don't know what those are like. Or MDMA.
Dude, that fentanyl's gnarly, man.
Dude, dropping like flies out there, buddy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you've literally performed all over the world, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what country do you think has the most energy? Like when you're performing, like that you were so super surprised at, like you're just like, oh my God, what was it?
Hands down, Australia.
Really?
Yeah, I would say we did really well here. We sold like 7 million records here. Per capita, we've sold more records in Australia and in Canada as well. Other English speaking. For some reason, EMI International wasn't very strong in the 90s, so we weren't really big in Europe. We toured Europe. We did okay in some places, but Europe, South America, Asia, we went to those places later,
Mm-hmm.
And we're still trying to make inroads, but we still have a we do great business down in Australia. We just came back, did 17 dates in Australia, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only like 5-6 major cities, and we did a bunch of smaller cities and just had a great time and just killed it. And I'm going back in about 4 months in January, February to do a solo tour. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be cool. All these shows that you've done literally all over the world, I'm sure you've had some crazy things happen to you while you're performing, right? What's like some story that you could tell me about something crazy happening to you while you guys are playing?
On stage. I've seen people like get into fist fights.
Yeah.
I think the craziest thing that ever happened to me was we were playing in Canada, say about 15 years ago, playing a casino, but it was just packed. I'd say there's like 2,500 people there, just packed. Everyone's having a great time. There's a pit going, and but there's people around the pit, older people, and I'm just singing. I'm getting eye contact with people, having a great time. Then I notice in the midst of all these people smiling and singing, there's this one dude there, I'd say about 25, 30, just looking at me pissy. And I saw next to him, obviously his girlfriend was just like losing her mind, having a great time. And he just flipped me off.
No. How funny.
And I'm just like laughing, and I just flipped him off back. And the next thing I know, homeboy flips his cigarette at me and hits me right in the face.
Oh.
This has got to be 15 years ago, because people were still smoking inside 20 years ago. And dude, I don't even remember it, but that old project kid, I grew up in the project. Next thing I know, I'm in the crowd and I got this guy's throat in my hand, and he's got terror in his eyes, and my arms back, ready to just start pounding him.
Oh my God!
And all these fans are like going, Art, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. He'll sue you. He'll win. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And these women and men are just like gently taking my hands off his neck and pulling my arm back, and then the next thing you know, they pull this kid. There's a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s pull this kid into the pit, and they just start kicking the shit out of him.
Oh my God!
Just whooping on him, and then security comes in and gets him, and they start dragging him. He's all bloodied and beaten up. They start dragging him up the aisle and out, right? And, and I think one of them's a cop. I think he went to jail. And but it was awesome because you could see on the stage like all these hardcore Everclear fans, and we're talking women and moms and shit, are like kicking him as he goes by. I'm like, please don't fuck with me, man. I'll set those middle-aged moms on you. They will fuck you up.
What a great story. Oh my God! I can't believe the guy's getting mad at you because his chick's freaking out.
Oh, dude,
it's just so weird.
That's always happened. Always happened. Guys getting jealous.
Yeah.
And they're going to shows because they don't want to be there, but they want to go with their girlfriend because they're just small-minded and probably small penises too.
So, did you start writing songs and playing guitar when you were real young?
Well, I started playing guitar when I was 14, but I didn't start writing songs till I was about 20. I was content just to play guitar, and I played bass in a few bands and just sing backups, But I was already writing music, but not like lyrics and not full songs. But I really hated dealing with singers who couldn't play instruments. And the straw that broke the camel's back was I was at a rehearsal, and this pretentious ass singer kid who was in our band was like, "So, Art, can you play something kind of linear on guitar?" And I'm like, "No, because I don't know what that means." He goes, "Well, linear is a mathematical term." I go, "No, dude, I know what linear means, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably better at math than you are, but I don't know what it means when you're talking about guitar. You're not using the right words." And he's like, punk rock kind of. I go, "You're talking about this," and I play him a palm mute, like that. He was like, "Yeah, that's it." And I go, "Well, that's called a palm mute because you're muting the strings with your palm." And then I'm just like, back then I was still drinking and doing drugs, and I was just getting all bent out of shape. And my bass player at the time's like looking at me, and he's like, and I'm finally in the middle of a song, I just stop, unplug my guitar, walk over to the case, and my bass player's like, no, don't do it. Don't, I'm out of here, dude. I quit, guys. Sorry. See ya. And I went home to my mom's. I was living with my mom at the time, in between, just living in drug houses and stuff like that. Just a rough life. And I remember I would just teach myself. I taught myself how to play guitar and sing at the same time. And I just listened to a bunch of my favorites like Neil Young, the Beatles, Stones, Clash, X, the band X, LA punk band, and even country artist Hank Williams. And just taught myself how to play a lot of those songs. And over the next year or two, I started writing songs, and really bad songs, but they got better and better and better. And finally, friends of mine would hear me play them and go, "Dude, whose song is that?" I go, "That's mine." They're like, "No, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my song." And so it was just work, but it was something I always wanted to do, but I was afraid to sing because I didn't have a classically trained or voice or instrument like that. But I realized my favorite singers were not like the Robert Plants of the world, even though I love Robert Plant and I love singers that can sing like that, Freddie Mercury, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
But that's not me. I'm more of the Neil Young, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty kind of guy. And, all I ever wanted to do was be in a rock band that had big, heavy guitars, but at the same time, the songs were more singer-songwriter type songs. Yeah. And really, that's what Everclear is.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Dude, I love your latest album too. I want to talk about that later though. But can you talk about, like, obviously you're a gifted songwriter, and I wanted to kind of find out like how you go about writing a song. You listen to your songs and they're just so from your soul, obviously. And I mean, how do you go about writing a song? Like, you just sit in a room and just start plunking away, or does it come to you? How does that work?
Well, I try not to write the same way every time, because I think people get stuck in a kind of, a plateau where everything sounds a little too similar. And so a lot of times it starts with a riff, a guitar riff that I'll come up with. And when I get a riff I like, I'll come up with a melody and just build it from there. But sometimes it comes up with an idea for a song title, or it comes up with lyrics I just write as like free verse poetry.
Right.
And then I'll build a song around that. So I try to do it in different ways every time.
Do some of your songs come really quick? Like some of your, the songs that have become your hits, did those come real easy to you? Did they come quickly, or did it take? Did it take a long time?
That's a really good question, dude.
Thanks.
Some are, it depends. It's like the song "Wonderful." I had the music for it, but no lyrics for it, and I didn't even know what it was going to be about. And then I just came up with the lyrics, and I wrote them on a plane flying from Portland to LA. And when I got to LA, I went to the studio and sang the lyrics, and I wrote all the lyrics right on the plane, 2-hour plane ride. And there's some songs that come, like "Father Mine." I remember watching my daughter sleep. People with kids, parents do that. They'll watch their kids sleep.
Oh, absolutely.
And do you have kids?
Yeah, I got 2 daughters.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, dude, I'm so on the same page as you.
It's like magic, dude.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't have a lot of money to go out and do stuff, it's like free entertainment. But I remember watching my daughter sleep one night, and I turned to my wife at the time and just go, "How the fuck does a man walk away from this? How do you do that?"
Yeah.
I'm not trying to ask a question that can't be answered. I'm just like, how do you look at your own child sleeping, just that purity and that innocence? Why do you not want to be a part of that? Why do you not want to be a part of making them better than you?
Right.
Giving them less damage than your parents gave you,
Absolutely.
And my wife went to bed, and I just went to my little, I had a little office in the house, one of the bedrooms that I had a desk in and a couch, and sat down on the couch with a notepad and my guitar. And by the time I went to bed, about 5 or 6 in the morning, I pretty much had almost all of the song. I tightened it up the next day. And there's been a couple of songs, but there's other songs that take forever to write. But Santa Monica came really quick. I wrote that in a day. I think sometimes the really good ones come pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting channeled through, from a higher power.
Dude, you know what's crazy, man? The exact same thing. See, the same thing, I can relate to you because the same thing happened to me with my biological dad. And, I didn't know him. He bailed when I was really young. And the exact same thing. I was looking at my daughter, my first daughter, and I said the same thing to me. How could my dad not want to be a part of my life, And I was looking at my daughter, and I was thinking the exact same thing, man. It's a trip, I bet a lot of people do that, once they have kids.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And I think the difference is I wrote about it, and I put it to music that I came up with a really cool riff, and a good melody. And that's really what songs are, man. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just, you're not going to recreate the wheel, but you can make the wheel move in a way that other wheels don't move a little bit. You can make it your own. And the people that I'm really like fans of are more unique than maybe like classically trained. Yeah, that's never been my thing.
Yeah.
That's not punk rock, rock and roll. The Elvis Costellos of the world are more my thing than even Eddie Van Halen, even though I think Eddie Van Halen was like probably the best rock and roll guitar player ever. Technically and even creatively. But it's funny that Elvis was more my thing because he was writing songs, but I'm saying that, but I'm thinking I love the first 4 Van Halen records so much, and the first 4 Elvis Costello records, because I heard them both. I went out on my 16th birthday. Quick story: 16th birthday. I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm coming back to LA the next day. I'm in the back seat with this hot 19-year-old girl who's my friend's older sister, who was always flirting with me. And when I show up to his house, he's like, "My sister's got a present for you." And she goes, "I'm your present, me, for tonight." And that's it. And I'm like, "Thank you."
Classic,
so I'm making out in the backseat with this hot 19-year-old girl. We're heading to a party. And Eruption by Van Halen comes on.
Dude, great song.
And I'm sitting there just going, dude, I am never going to become the fastest guitar player or the best guitar player, the guitar player. That's not going to happen. And then they go into, You Really Got Me. And I'm just like, God, the guitars are so fucking big. And the drum sounds so great. I love that.
Yeah.
And then after that, a song called Watching the Detectives by Elvis Costello comes on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I like this as much, if even more. Yeah. And I'm like, I want a band that's writing songs like him, but with the guitar sound like Van Halen. Yeah. And that came to my mind when I'm stoned and drunk and, got my hands in this girl's shirt in the back of the car.
It's funny.
And to really, if you think about it, that's what Everclear is, man. We have big guitars and I write songs.
Yeah. Do you think that songs are gifts to artists from a higher power?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Right?
I do. I feel like it funnels through us. I'm clean. It's over 34 years. I have a really strong relationship with my higher power, and I'm very spiritual.
Yeah.
I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion at all. I just don't buy it. I grew up in a very religious household, and it was kind of forced on me. And even as a kid, it just seemed like contradictions and just seemed like a lot of bullshit,
Yeah.
What I remember asking my mom, why is God a him? Why is it he? Why is it Father? Well, that's what it says in the Bible. I go, yeah, but who wrote the Bible? Men. I go, oh, okay. So because prehistoric men thought that God had a penis, I got to believe that, I mean, really, the omniscient being that created everything has a penis. Really? Get the fuck out of here. It's just, That kind of shit just doesn't make any sense to me. The whole success, God believes that they're in racism or slavery. Right. Come on.
It's like, you know, when you're writing a song, like I wanted to ask you this question. So, you know, coming from a higher power, it's like, how many times have you heard someone say that the song Father of Mine has meant something to them or they related to it? I mean, how many people have you seen in tears because of that song? You know what I mean?
Without exaggerating.
Yeah.
Damn near every time I go out in the public.
Yeah.
Especially during the period when it was out there.
Yeah.
But even today, like, I went to Starbucks, not today, yesterday, and a guy came up to me, and I was in Starbucks in a line today, and the girl, like, you know, 20 years old, and her parents have been taking her to her and her sister to Everclear show sauce when she was 14, and she's like, I have a great relationship with my dad, but that song Father of Mine reminds me of my dad's dad and his experiences, and you know, and it's generational, man, and you know, we kind of joke a little bit backstage, like, and I'll tell people, when I play Father of Mine, it makes grown men cry.
Right?
It really does.
Oh, for sure.
It does. And it makes sense, because when I wrote that song, and I'm writing those lyrics down, I'm crying.
Yes.
It was hard for me to play that song for people because it would make people cry. And I would cry too when I was singing it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's just really emotional.
Total gift, man. Total gift, for sure.
Thanks, brother.
That song was on a Grammy-nominated record, The Afterglow, along with so many other great songs like Everything to Everyone and I Will Buy You a New Life. What's it like to be nominated for a Grammy, man? What's that like? That's so
cool. It was cool, dude. You know, it was funny because we were nominated not for any of the 3 number 1 hits that we had on the record. We were nominated for an instrumental.
Oh, really?
For El Distorto di Melodica, which is bizarre. And but it was cool. It was cool. We got nominated. We didn't win, but we got nominated.
You know, it's crazy. I mean, you know, here you are, a little kid, you learning the guitar, and then, you know, getting better, and, you know, not writing very good songs, and then getting better, and then next thing you know, you've got a record deal with Capitol Records, and then your songs.
Well, it was the next thing you know. It was many years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. And it's like, you know, just over the years, and then all of a sudden, you know, nominated for a Grammy. That's just huge, man. It's just so cool. And then your records went on to sell millions of records, right?
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Like I said, man, we've been blessed. My life has been a lot of struggle and a lot of failure and a lot of success.
Yeah.
And I think that's how any life should be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've always believed this, and I've said it in different ways, but I'm a big NFL football fan. I'm a Seahawks fan. And I was watching this thing with this coach was talking, a dad was talking to his son going, look, it's not a sin to get knocked down. It's a sin to not get back up again.
Yes.
And I've always said that in a different ways, like getting knocked down, failing doesn't define you. It's what you do afterwards that does.
Yeah.
And how you respond to it and how you react to it, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember the first time and what it was like to hear your song on the radio the first time? Like, what were you doing? Do you remember?
Well, it depends. Well, like the first song I ever heard on the radio was on college radio. It was a indie band of mine called Colored Finger years ago. But Everclear, the first Everclear song I heard on the radio was a song off our first record called Fire Maple Song. And there hadn't been alternative radio in Portland, and we went out on tour, and we came back, and it was getting played on this alternative AM station that a year later became an FM station. But it was amazing to hear it. And my wife at the time was telling me, man, they're playing that song constantly. They're playing that song.
So cool.
It's the most requested song on that station. And we had a show at this club that we played all the time. And the club held, it was called La Luna. It's not there anymore. And it held like about 1,100 people. But we usually did about, I don't know, 600, 700 people. We were one of the bigger bands in town. That was a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember going to sound check at about 2 p.m, and there's a line of kids, about 50 kids, like teenagers and young people.
Yeah.
Like waiting outside. And they started yelling at me and recognized me. I go, what are you guys doing here? This is a really bad part of town. This is a really bad part of town. You shouldn't be here. Come back later. The show starts at 7. Doors will open. Then you can go inside. It'll be safe. It'll be good. They're like, no way. It's going to sell out. I go, it's not going to sell out. Trust me. I wish it would sell out. It's not going to sell out. And then I went in and did sound check. Me and Craig walked outside, and there was a line of about 250 people.
Damn.
You know, going down the block. And I was just like, man, you guys need to go home. And, you know, and they're all singing the words to the song and other songs on the record. I'm just, this is
so cool.
This is weird. So I went home, had dinner with my family, came back to the show about 7:30, and it's dark, right? Because it's like the fall. It's like October, November, something like that. And dude, there is a line going around this whole city block, and it's huge. Going around the whole venue, which is the whole city block, 3 times, 3 deep.
Wow.
So needless to say, they put about 1,250 people in there that legally, I think it held like 1,000,
right?
Something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what this feels like.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it happen to other people, but I've never felt this before. This is like when you cross that line from being like a local band to something bigger than that.
Yeah.
And it started happening all over the country once we started getting played on radio. And when Santa Monica took off, that was different level type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do you remember when you first sold like 1 million copies of your album? Do you remember that day that you heard that?
Yeah, I remember. So the record came out in May of '95. Heroin Girl got played in about 12 different markets and did amazing there, but a lot of places were afraid to play a song with the word heroin in it.
Uh-huh.
And then Santa Monica came out and didn't really do all that well because their first single didn't do that well, but we kept touring, and we did a video for Santa Monica, and that came out on 120 minutes, and you know, on MTV, and just we slowly but surely, you know, did well through Christmas, and after Christmas, they started really pounding our video, and the record just went from selling like 8,000 a week to 40,000 a week.
Damn.
And
it's crazy.
On that record, we never sold like 100,000 or 200,000 a week like some bands, but we sold 40,000 a week for a year.
Wow.
And that's what sold all those records. And by mid-February, I get a call. I'm on tour, and I get a call from my A&R guy. He goes, I just want to let you know, dude, you just, he didn't say dude, he said awesome. He's an English guy. Awesome. He goes, you shipped gold today. They shipped out the final amount that you are now certified gold. You're going to have a gold record. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And, you know, they set up a gold record party for us and stuff like that. and that was going to happen in about 3 weeks in LA. And the week before we had our gold record party, Perry called me up, my A&R guy called me up and goes, I just want to let you know something. You shipped platinum today.
Wow.
It's just like in the last 3 weeks, we've shipped 500,000 records. That's how many records you're selling. And you're going to have a platinum record.
It's crazy.
And that was so exciting. And I remember telling my mom, my mom is still alive, about the platinum record party. And I go, I want you to go. It's important to me that you go to this with me.
Nice.
It's important to me. She's like, well, I don't have anything to wear. I go, I already got that figured out. I got this designer lady here in Portland's going to come and bring you dresses and take care of you. There's a limo going to pick you up. Come pick me up, and we're going to fly down first class to LA. And so you can't get out of it. My mom, my mom's an old hillbilly lady. She don't want to do it. And she's finally like, okay. I don't really get what this is all about. I don't really know what we're doing. And blah, 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 blah. I go, Mom, this is a platinum record. I've got a platinum record. Do you not get that? And then we get to the place, we get in the limo at LAX, and we're all dressed up, and the other guys get in the car with us, and we pull up to this restaurant, and there's paparazzi there. There's like stands. It had been on MTV News, and there was a red carpet, and it pulled up, and when they opened the door, you just heard the crowd go.
Oh, your mom must have been tripping.
And my mom reached over and pulled the door shut, and she goes, "What the hell is this? What is this?" I go, "Mom, it's our platinum record party." "What does that mean, platinum record?" I go, "It means we sold 1 million records." She goes, she's like, "Boy, are all these people here for you?" I go, "Yeah, flat out, yes."
Isn't that cool?
And she's just like, you could see it just like going in her eyes, or her just didn't want to it didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden she's just like, okay. She gets out of the car, and then she starts waving at people and smiling and talking to press people, and and then after that it was like, she became my biggest fan, and she's like, won't shut up about it. But
That's so cool. What a great experience. And she must have been so proud, man.
Yeah, man. She was totally proud. Hey, brother, I'm gonna have to wrap up. I got another interview on Zoom right now.
No worries, man. I really appreciate you being on my podcast, buddy.
Hey, man, good luck with your podcast. It was great interviews. Great talking.
Yeah, you too, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
It's a Guy Jeans podcast.